What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of Natty News Daily. We got the whole gang here tonight. We got myself, we got Dan, we got James, and we've got the current defending WNBF World Champ, Kendahl Richmond. How are you, my man?
Doing good, man. Energy's definitely hanging on a thread, we're at this prep. But I keep a smile on my face, and
for sure
I keep the excitement of the show as my energy, pretty much.
Peaking
is imminent, though.
Exactly.
Yeah. So as of recording this, we are, what do we say? We're 8 days out?
8 days out, yes.
Awesome. 8 days out from Worlds. So let's start with how this prep has gone. How long have you been prepping? This isn't your first show of the season. So for those who don't know kind of how this season has gone, let's start with that.
Okay. So I have pretty much I've done 3 shows this year so far.
Yep.
And my first show was in July, if I remember. So just kind of been hanging on to a certain condition since then.
Yep.
I had a July, September, and then October. So I guess you can say my prep started a month before July. And I just kind of hang within a middle ground in between each shows, about a few weeks in between.
Yep.
But for the last 4 weeks since my last show, I've been really dialing it in. So as far as cardio, macros, posing, training, everything.
Yeah. So now, if I remember correctly, you actually specifically mentioned in a post that you didn't go to 100% for these earlier shows. Can you touch on that a little bit?
So all these shows, I've tried a different prep. So I wanted to it's been 2 years since the pandemic. So I wanted to see how my body would react to certain methods. The first show in Tahoe, I did a method where I replaced fats with high intensity dark chocolate, and I used ground turkey, 99% lean ground turkey, and different lean protein sources. And then the next show, the Nevada State, I went back to the fish. I used avocado and almond butter for fat. So I've really been messing around with certain things.
Yep.
And then seeing how I'm peaking on peak week. I've tried certain water depletions. I've tried a keto style, and then just carb load. I tried just different styles of peak week, and I realized what worked for me was Nevada. I feel like I've peaked really well, so it's just data. It's just collecting data, and then that way with Worlds, I know exactly how to go about it to bring my best shape.
Yep. And what was the best method you found for yourself? What was the fine point?
The best method was definitely I do really well with fish, tilapia, and salmon. Salmon, my fat sources, and then tilapia, and then almond butter with oats and potassium like blueberries, and rice cakes. I do really well with me, more so than rice and anything else. And certain macros and stuff like that. And then I know exactly how I'm going to peak with how I'm looking now. But now I'm doing the most cardio I've done.
You're doing a lot.
Yeah, I'm doing about 2 hours. So I'm doing 1 hour and 50.
Damn.
So I'm doing 1 hour and 50, and my carbs are lower. So, but I'm seeing my body is leaning out weight. I'm 208, which is the shows I've done. I weighed in on the day of at 209 or 210. So I'm 208 right now.
Yeah.
And my body looks the leanest. My lower back, my glutes, certain areas I personally hold water at. I'm literally flat, but I'm shredded in those areas. So I'm easing my way into carb loading and coming at my percent, I feel.
Perfect. What does the next 8 days look like for you?
So I'm doing the same exact thing. This is what I do for every show. I do the same thing until about Wednesday. So Wednesday is kind of usually when I start to cut the cardio slowly.
Yep.
Start to slowly, it depends how I'm looking, but I start to slowly deplete the carbs. I might increase the fats to kind of get into that ketosis state where I'm just literally just draining all the glycogen. Just anything else I have left, just pulling it out. And then show day, or about the day before the day before show day, my water is just literally only in meals. And I'm depending on how I'm looking, I might go for a hack where I might stop water at a certain time and just lower my protein, because I'm not trying to thicken out. So I might just really lower my protein ounces on my meals, really load the carbs slowly, usually what I do is I kind of cap like about the third meal on carbs, and then I hit it hard before bed. Like I might do like a large fry or something like that, just to get an instant response or something like that. That way, that's the last thing on in my system, and I just wake up with it, you know. So that usually for me. So that's kind of gonna be my method, unless I see otherwise. But my weight's been doing really well to where I feel like, you know, that's pretty much gonna be my method most likely.
Do you have any estimation of what you'll weigh by show day? If you're 208 now, do you think you'll still get a couple off by then?
I think 208 right now with 2 gallons of water and with how I'm eating, I think I could be probably 207, 208. I feel like 208 is literally a good weight, and I feel like when I cut water and low carbs, I could be 206. Who knows? But all I know, the lightest I've been. But the most round I've been, like my shoulders, my pecs, and like my muscle bellies are more rounder at this time. And I feel like it's just because like the cardio is a lot, but how I'm with the protein, and the water, obviously to keep me at like homeostasis. And then the macros I feel like are really doing me just because I still do refeeds. I mean, like tomorrow, I'm just going to treat it as a refeed. My weight's doing so good. I'm going to do a refeed tomorrow where it's just like free carbs. I might hit 600. And then to keep the same exact, like I said, same exact tactic with the cardio and everything else. And then Wednesday is when I'm going to like tweak things, but everything's still the same. Like my last leg day Saturday, which I use refeed tomorrow to use for my leg day on Saturday. At that point, it's just skating, low carbs, and then hit it hard on Friday.
Cool. So tomorrow's your last big hurrah, and then then we dig again.
Yeah, so tomorrow's my last hurrah, and then use that for the legs to just deplete, and then because I'm gonna hit a little bit of everything: hammies, glutes, quads, a little everything. And then I'm gonna go to another low on carbs and just skate that because I'm gonna start cutting cardio and cutting my intensity lower and stuff like that.
Cool.
Now you said this is the lightest you've been.
Yes.
Is that something that you intentionally came into this prep season thinking that you needed to do, or just kind of a byproduct of where you've been and how long you've kind of held this conditioning? Like, so this is your second offense, right? Did you come in saying like, all right, I have to step it up, I got to bring more conditioning, or is that just kind of what's happened with the look that you're going for?
Yeah, so I definitely knew I had to step it up. I know there's a lot of like, you know, a lot of young guys coming up, a lot of guys from Europe, I'm sure are going to come in shredded and stuff. And I knew the one thing that I had to fill in the gap on was my conditioning. Like I knew I got the bellies, I got the symmetry, the shape, the balance. I know if I come in like shredded, like condition even more, I literally believe I'm unbeatable. So I knew I had to come in lighter so that I'm, you know, just more depleted. That way, when I'm loading, I literally just soak it up and I look leanest I've been because of, like I said, the cardio I've been doing and everything else to get to my most conditioned, most lowest. That's been my main objective, was not much of getting bigger. Because the second time I did it, I won Worlds, I was focused on size, but I already have the belly. So I've been focusing on conditioning this time more.
Yeah,
I think it's good to hear coming from the two-time champ that you see there's still things that you think you can improve and be even better than last time.
Yes, like I was looking at my videos last time, and I had the shape, I had everything else. My posing, my stage presence was good, but I know that if a guy was to get me, it would be on my conditioning. So I knew that I had to make sure my glutes, my obliques, you know, just everything was at my best. In order for me to do that was to make sure my weight correlated with it, you know, make sure my weight is less than what I was beforehand, but still keeping my shape. And then making sure that, you know, how I come into this peak week is dialed in, because that's going to justify how conditioned I'm going to keep myself for the show and then just peak even better.
Yeah.
So did standing next to Brett last year, did you see that? And like, I want some of that.
Yeah, Brett definitely had me in the glutes in the back. Like he it was amazing. And in person, it was even crazy.
I was gonna say, what was seeing that in person like? Like video or pic photos are, I mean, ridiculous as is, but I can't even imagine seeing it in person.
Yeah, like he blew his class out the water with that, because I was saw the videos. Like I said, my shape, my waist, my back, my width, the mass. I had some. I got my hammies, which I feel like was one of my strong points, was my hamstrings. But Brett's glutes and his lower back was so sucked in. It literally was just the pinnacle of his conditioning. And I'm like, man, like if I with my size, if I had that kind of conditioning, like that's a scary thing. So I knew the conditioning has to be on point for me, and that's like literally been my focus was conditioning.
Yeah, I think that speaks to you as an athlete, right? Is your willingness and your, continued evolution as an athlete, right? I think sometimes people can get complacent, especially if they do well, and they're like, "Oh, I'm always going to be good, or I'm always going to be the best." But when you get like that, that's when you mentioned someone's going to sneak in there and maybe get you. Whereas for yourself, if you can look at it and say, okay, if I bring my conditioning even better, I'm going to continue to have the shape, the symmetry, the size. That's all going to be there and improve. But what's the missing link maybe? And it's that conditioning. And if you can add that to your repertoire, then you're right. You could potentially be unbeatable up there.
Right, because I heard a lot of people say that like Sam, when I beat Sam for the second world title win, I know in his YouTube video he was talking about his conditioning could have been better, and then even Bob told me about conditioning, and then a few judges at the Tahoe show said like, hey, you come in more conditioned. So I've heard the word condition literally for the past year or two. So I'm like, okay, Kendahl, like it seems like the only gap you have is your conditioning. So let's let that be the focus. Even though it may take more cardio, it may take more whatever, but if you do what they say, which is come in more conditioned, then no question. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure. Now you said, go ahead, James.
I was just gonna say, luckily, that's arguably the easiest thing to fix, right? Like that's the trait that we can all, increase or alter pretty rapidly if need be. It's not pretty, it's not fun, but yeah, if someone can say, hey, you got to get 5 more pounds of muscle, that's not as realistic as just dropping 5 pounds of fat.
Yeah.
Right. And so I knew with Bob and other guys telling me like, hey, like you got to come in shredded. I'm like, okay, well, say no more. I'm gonna make sure I come in shredded.
Yeah. Like James said, you can't change someone's skeleton either, right? Like your shape, your genetics, like all that is very much, in your favor, right? And if you can bring the conditioning, which you have very much control over, then it's the ball's in your court, right?
And for everyone watching, Kendahl, it's not like he wasn't conditioned.
World championship.
Just for the record, just as a disclaimer, he was peeled. But I mean, it's a world stage, so
he's going next level.
Yeah, so it's like, how can I improve? Because you're right, I was conditioned on the second Worlds that I won, and I was like, how can I improve from that? And I knew it wasn't the size because I got that. So I mean, if anything, as far as muscle development, it was my lower back probably. But like the recent shows I've done this year, my lower back has gotten way better. So I knew when it comes to the world stage, the main thing that I was setting up for was just the conditioning. Like, was make sure that it's even better than last time, because guys know I come in on, but I want to make sure like this time it's different as far as like how tight I come in.
Yeah, awesome. So you said not too long ago, I believe I'm unbeatable, and I am very I'm just going to use the word impressed because I can't think of another word, but your mindset, your attitude, just your focus, all that kind of stuff, you're not afraid to speak it. You're not afraid to post it. Can you talk about where that's come from, how you've cultivated that? And, because I think it's something more people need to really embrace, is the mindset side of the sport, right? We can all eat a certain way. We can all train a certain way, but to really have your head on right, I think can really take you far places. So can you talk about that?
Yeah. So like, so with me, like when it comes to just like setting myself up for greatness or just like whatever, like I truly just believe in my ability that much that like I literally visualize the outcome so much, and I affirm what's going to happen in my mind. And I've always since like I was an athlete. I just like, if I thought it, I did it. Like, it was like a matter of like, if I can see the visual in my mind, like a movie, to where it fulfills in the way I kind of see it, it usually happens if I take action. So like with me, when I put things out in the universe and I say like, this is going to happen, like I'm abiding by my law. Like I'm speaking to myself, but out loud. So like, I'm not like trying to stunt on nobody. I'm like literally talking to Kendahl, but out loud. So it keeps me accountable. It keeps me more on my game when I speak it out to the universe. Cause like, you know, I know some guys stay tucked and some guys play the high game and they don't want to put themselves out there and then, you know, have whatever. Me, it's like I put in the work and everything else, but like, I'll let you know what's going to happen. And it's just because like, I just believe in my ability and my work ethic that everything I've done to this point at my young age, I thought about it first and I visualized it first. And then if I see the outcome, like the second world title I won, I predicted how it literally the ending happened. Like I predicted me and Sam sitting next to each other. I predicted, an aisle where Sam walked in, I walked in the middle. I predicted like having in and out. I literally like dreamed the whole thing and it literally happened. Like, so it's like, and that's been in most cases that I've like won and accomplished things. So I try to keep that in me and let it known to the universe that like, hey, I'm putting in the work to do what I set out to do. And like, so I'm going to let people know, you can take it how you want to take it. But like, I believe that I have everything that it takes to literally be unstoppable. And I believe if I'm at my best, I'm just untouchable.
Yep. Where did that come from? Was that from coaches, parents, self-inflicted?
My dad plays a huge part in my mindset. Like he always just told me like bad things, whatever the case may be, like everything's gonna be all right. And my dad always like told me like, you know, just keep your head, keep your head in the game. You know, try not to worry. You know, like try not to react. You know, adjust.
Yep.
And so I've always just like adjusted. I never reacted, never acted off emotion. Because my dad doesn't. He literally, like the whole house can be on fire, and he's just like, hey, calm down. Like we got this. Like, so I get my relaxed, ambitious demeanor from him just because of how he kind of like spoke to me, how I see him move, talk to my mom and stuff like that. And then like certain influences I came across in my life, certain mentor figures also kind of brought me to that mindset. And then when I started to really accomplish things by putting 100% effort, I started just believing like myself that like,
it just starts to reinforce it, right?
Yeah. So I became a believer that this is not like this, like I just won a world title or this stuff happens just because of my genetics. Like I'm really up at 3 a.m, 2 hours. I'm really cooking all my meals. I'm coaching myself. I record myself, literally posing 3 times a day on my phone. Like there's plenty of videos of me posing. And it's just my ring light right here and a little area next to my kitchen. And then I literally look at it and I go from there based off of like watching Chris Bumstead or watching Breon, just certain videos like other guys are doing, and I use it to my advantage. And I give myself like a 3-day rule. If this works for 3 days, I'll keep doing it. If my fats are too high, I notice I'm a little bloated, I notice I'm a little whatever. I got to pull it out, Kendahl. Like I'm literally trial and erroring everything to where when I find like what works for me, and I see how my body's shaping, and I see how my obliques are just literally soaking up, and I'm thinking to myself like who can beat this? Like it's like an internal thing. Like I'm looking at myself posing videos, and when I'm on, and I'm my side profile and my back and my front profile, my front shot for shot, I'm like, I'm hitting everything crisp because I literally am here sweating, taking the time to perfect everything. And I'm thinking to myself, if I bring this and peak, like I really believe no one can beat me. Like I just really just believe my hammy, like how my glutes sit, just my proportions. Like these guys calling me out on Instagram and like, oh, get ready. I'm like, but you don't know what's coming. Like, and you don't have my portions. You don't have my hammies, my back, my bellies. Like you might have a little bit of conditioning, a little bit of whatever, which is exactly why I'm like, if I bring the conditioning, it's game over. Like, that's a lot of these guys have is the conditioning, but the bellies and the physique I have, and then the conditioning, like I don't see it going no other way. If I know I stick to what I set out to do and don't get comfortable and continue to do what I have to do, which is, I plan on literally stepping on the world stage and skating it. Like I plan on being in my own league, literally. Like just like the second one title I won, I was in the middle and they moved guys around me the entire time. So I plan on coming in and do that same thing where my presence alone it makes guys know that like I worked hard to be here in this moment. Like I worked hard to get myself to this condition naturally. And I did the studies. I'm on YouTube. I'm on WebMD. I'm like literally finding information and I'm using it. And came here. I'm not saying, guys, that I'm much of I'm in the anarchy. I'm way up here because I'm self-made. I'm self-coached. But I did this myself. And like I'm in my phone gallery can show it. And it's just like, so that's just pretty much where my mindset comes in, where like it just from what I've accomplished. And I'm humble, so I don't talk about it, but I've accomplished a lot of things. But I know from what I've accomplished and what I'm bringing, I don't see no one stopping me. And unless I'm off, I don't see it as the person or their physique. I see it as if I don't come in 100%. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, you can hear that conviction in your voice and that confidence. Yeah. And it's, people can take it the wrong way. People can, come across as arrogant or whatever. But I think as an athlete and at the highest level, you need some of that, right? And whether, you put it out there publicly and, some people might have it a little bit behind the scenes, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I think that, it will just carry over to you being a better athlete.
Yeah. And some of the greatest champions have a little arrogance to them. I mean, you look at,
every great champion has arrogance. Look, I don't care whatever sport it is. Look at Conor McGregor. Look at LeBron James. Look at any great athlete. Look at Phil Heath. Look at Breonna. Like
exactly,
the list goes on. Right? When you've accomplished something, you've done it. You talk about it all you want.
Exactly. And what it is when I do it, I don't call people out. I don't, and if I do, it's like a friendly competition. But I don't make that approach. But what I will say is like I'm coming to take it. Like or what I will say is like watch out what's coming to build hype around it. But I literally let guys know in fine print like I'm coming. Like I'm not like this is fun. I'll enjoy meeting all the guys internationally backstage. But I'm coming there for one objective. Like I'm coming there to leave with what I set out to do. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm putting it out to the universe and in the air, and I'm really putting in the work. I'm not just talking and sitting on Instagram. I'm like putting in the work day in, day out, even though I don't show as much whatever, but I'm really up at 3 a.m. posing and sweating my ass off. And I'm really like dragging my feet through these low carb days, but I just know like it's all worth it once I'm the 3-time world champion and guys are believers of like, this guy is really like about it. Cause I am like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? But that's where my excitement comes from, is that like, I know what's going to happen before it happens. It's just a matter of if I'm on, it's game over. Like that's the only thing I'm not focusing on the overall. I'm not focusing on nothing. I'm focusing on me being on. And if I'm on and I wake up show day morning and I'm on and it's a straight through show and I wake up on point, I don't see, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. No, it's cool to hear. I like to hear it. So 3-time champ, ideally by next weekend. Then what? Do you keep winning worlds? Do you set the bar higher? Do you try to, IFBB Pro Card? Like what do you want to do?
Yeah. So after this, I'm definitely celebrating it. I told myself that. I said, Kendahl, like, after this, definitely take the time to celebrate. But I do plan on working to get my IFBB Pro Card next year. After I win this, I'm definitely, I talked about it to some people. I definitely want to, because I'm qualified for nationals from winning Tahoe and winning Nevada State.
Yep.
So I was like, after this show, I'm gonna go for it. You know, I'm gonna go ahead, and I know there's one in Miami like 2 weeks after Worlds, which is I forgot what show it is, but I got some people doing that show. I mean, I don't know, we'll see. But I do want to go for IFBB Pro Card. Like, why not? You know, just because it's just like I'm natural. Why not go for it? See where I can go. But I do want to try a national qualified show.
You're seeing quite a few guys make the jump now to obviously not going enhanced, but jumping to the NBC, the IFBB, and seeing where they land, right? And we're seeing guys like, Bob Waterhouse won his, Garino Mackey won his. Like, we're seeing more guys snag that IFBB Pro Card, which is pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Would you pursue bodybuilding or classic?
I would love to do classic. I have a very I have a very Breon Ansley, Terrence Ruffin type of physique, and I would love to do classic. It's just the weight with my height. I think the weight is 205. So I'm coming in my light as a 208. And who knows what I'm trying to decide how I come in at show day. If I'm 206, 207 on show day, then I might probably go for the classic physique. But I would love to do classic physique. It's, so we'll see about it.
Sweet. That'd be where I was gonna where I could picture you for sure. You have that that flow and that aesthetic to your physique,
shape,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Especially with your frame, like you're a big dude up there, right? So you hit some of those classic poses, like that's gonna command a lot of attention on stage, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm so excited, man.
I mean, this is actually my energy, right? This is all the carbs I have left. And I'm getting happy about talking about it because before this call, I just got home like 30 minutes ago. Before this call, I was on the couch slumped, man. I was just just trying to get the day over with. I got a high carb day tomorrow, so I'm excited to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
No, well, sure. Anyone watching this podcast, there's no doubt about your conviction and your passion for the sport. I mean, you can just hear it, you can feel it, watch your facial mannerisms. You can tell you love it. You love everything about it. And that's tough because I haven't prepped as long as you. I haven't done as many shows as you, all that. But I've been there. I know what you feel like right now, but you can't tell, right? You're hyped up for this, and it's good to see.
Yeah, and I love the journey. It's more than just getting a medal or the world title. I love the journey. I love the
pursuit. Yeah.
I love the pursuit, and I love how I am when I'm on prep. I'm catered to a routine. I get up. My meals are at a certain time. My workout at a certain time. I feel like I'm really looking forward as a man in survival mode to go without, and to sacrifice and to stick to a routine to move forward and improve. It's because every man needs a purpose, and he needs something bigger to reach to and move forward from. And on prep, I'm constantly moving forward daily. My physique's improving. It's just so that constant improve factor is what I love, because I can literally adapt and adjust to anything. That life takes on. I'm still dealing with life. I got a business and stuff like that. So, and with me moving forward with all this stuff happening on prep, I literally can maneuver and adjust from any situation that happens in life. And so I love that going without feeling that you get from prep, that you put yourself as a priority and you say no to things more than you normally wouldn't, and you choose what you want to do. And you can call it a little selfish, but you need to put yourself as a priority and as an authority in order to really make it in life, especially when it comes to easily influenced things. My mind is focused on certain things that I normally be focused on and stuff like that, because I got to get up in the morning. I got to go sleep at a certain time. I got to, so I really love the journey. I get out of it. And then the accomplishment of winning, it tops it off. But the journey alone is so rewarding that, it's a high. That's why people want to do it again, and they want to do it again, because that journey teaches them a lot,
Yeah. There's something to be said about the process of it all, right? And being that person that enjoys prep, not for just the end result, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. So definitely love the experience of being able to see how my mind is more focused on what I want to do, how I feel. Like in the morning when I'm up that early doing fasted cardio, I don't go to no Instagram. I don't, I might wake up to some sort of like theatrical or some music like that, but I don't have no words, nothing like that. And I'm checking in with myself. How are you doing, Kendahl? Are you good? How are you, how you feeling? And I don't have this kind of stuff usually in the off season because I'm so filtered with food and distraction and stuff like that. But on prep, I'm so in a tunnel vision, like I'm in a place of solitude a lot. I'm alone with Kendahl a lot. So with me being around people as a trainer and their energies, when I'm alone a lot, and I love it because I'm enjoying my company. I'm talking to myself. I'm telling myself how I'm feeling, and that makes me know that I'm getting more and more comfortable with Kendahl's space. Like because I'm not too quick to pull up Instagram or nothing like that. I can just be sitting here right here with nothing on, and I'm just talking to myself. Like I can be talking about like how thankful I am to be able to compete and have the strength to maneuver another day and just stuff I don't usually do in the off season because like I'm not going towards a big goal like that. And it's just, so why wake up early? Why, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yep. I can echo that myself being on prep right now. I've been getting up earlier and I take that time, I hydrate myself, I pose, same thing. I'll kind of check in with myself. I usually put on like Jordan Peterson or something like that, listen to some of that stuff just to get my head on straight. But it definitely starts the day off, in a good place.
Right. And then so I set off the rest of the day from the momentum of checking in with Kendahl. I don't wake up like, oh, what's on Instagram? And I'm just brainwashed by
drama,
what people
shit,
stuff like that. Like I'm more focused on how I feel when I'm on prep than what people are doing.
Yeah, no, for sure. Mm-hmm. If you could give one or two pieces of advice for someone that's starting in their bodybuilding journey, whether it's be competition or not, what would you give them?
Do it for the personal development aspect of it. Do it for the reasoning to become a much better person, not necessarily physically or extrinsically, but like internally, spiritually. Like do it for that reason. And because a lot of guys want to be their best and they want to win, which is nice, but then if you can win and not be fulfilled, you know what I mean? Like you can get the trophy and be like, oh, I got it, and then you have a burger and you're just like, you're just back to normal. Like if you go through it and you look back at how you started and how you were shredded and how your mind was, and like that's more rewarding because you've seen how you transform mentally and stuff like that, and then you start to believe in yourself, and then that just carries on with life how you want to take it. But I would definitely have them do it for the personal development aspect of it because me looking back at the second world title and how I came up out of that, and there was a lot of stuff that went wrong that peak week too. My meals got out of the plane. I had to like find a way to. It's just a lot of stuff, but I was appreciative of the fact that I didn't worry and I didn't like get scared that like, okay, I got 3 days left to come in with no meals on my bag. I was focused on, okay, Kendahl, relax. Okay, so there's a target right there. Okay, like I would, stuff that I normally I wouldn't react off of, and it's because I've learned that the worst can happen on prep and stuff like that, and then you just realize after a show of you doing it, you did it. Something that many people contemplate on doing but don't do. So I have them look at it like that.
No, that's good, man. That's a good way to close this out. So if those want to follow, get in touch with you, where do they find you?
Yeah, Coach_Kendahl. That's my Instagram. My business page is Coach_K_training. Yeah. So that's what I have so far. Eventually I have a content guy where I eventually get some like a YouTube going soon. So that's nice. We'll see about that.
Awesome, man. All right, buddy. Well, from the three of us here at Natty News Daily, we wish you luck. 3 times.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a good 8 days, low stress, and hopefully the peak goes well for you, and good luck defending your title.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You seem to be in a good headspace, so the stress levels seem to be
I'm very confident. I don't have no stress. I'm not worried about nothing. I don't even know how guys are looking. I just don't look at it like that. I just focus on me and my business, make sure that's going well. And then I'm just like, I'm gonna play some Call of Duty and just get my mind a relaxed space and just carry in with what I brought,
Yep. Awesome. All right, people. If you guys enjoyed this episode with Kendahl, let us know, give it a like. And if you really enjoyed it, let us know, and we'll get them on after the win next weekend, and we'll do a little celebratory episode. So thanks again, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next one.